hold true against Smeb's Fiora, which is significantly stronger
it was against
than
KOO.
his previous opponent.
And KOO misplayed that matchup so badly already from level 2. Smeb won't make the same mistake.
Let's find out as we load up for game 2. The hope of Europe red side against Korea's KOO Tigers. Margin Boo's been swapped out for the golden god of Zac. And Rainover is going to be playing around these crystal spires. Let's see how well Fnatic handle themselves, because this is a jungler we've not seen in Europe since Diamond ran it a very, very, very long time ago.
Even before he got changed. Honestly, Rainover's put in a lot of practice on Skarner. I was one of his main champions in Korean solo queue, and it's interesting that he falls back onto the Skarner instead of the Olaf, when Olaf would have been able to run through the Veigar stuns, but I do like the idea against the Tahm Kench of still punishing him after he gobbles up an AD carry. This game is really fascinating right now. I also think it's super bold that Febiven is gone teleport against the Veigar, because if he eats an Event Horizon stun, he is completely dead. There's a lot to go on in this game.
Well, it's one of these problems for an Azir, and you have. I look at it this way: when it comes to late game, would he stay alive anyway if he ran like Barrier or Heal? No, he would have to run Cleanse then against KOO, and I think that is an okay option. But right now, what Fnatic is aiming to do is trying to match that global pressure KOO brought in game 1 and say, you know what, that was a big problem. Let's try and fix it.
I want to see how Reckless handles himself with that Hawk shot. Something that Prey has shown when he does play Ashe is proficiency not only with landing the Enchanted Crystal Arrow almost perfectly, but also keeping track of his opponent's jungler. So let's see how Reckless makes use of that ability once he ranks it up.
I want to see what Huni and Reino was doing as well. They just took a camp together. They give level 2 to Huni. Normally what happens is you go down and give a few hits into the red buff, but you make sure that Huni doesn't take too much damage, because you want him to run into the top lane. You don't want him to recall and use his teleport, because what's going to happen now, and you can see Smeb is doing exactly the same on the bottom side, is you save that TP. So in case the enemy top lane had used his to make sure the jungler got a better start, had to use a potion less, you had that massive TP advantage for more potions and so on later on, which is very important. So both top laners are being set up for success right now with this start.
And neither of these junglers are going to be doing an early game gank. That much is for certain. We did see some teams before Worlds would actually sacrifice others so the jungler could have faster item spike, go invade the enemy jungler, but with this specific matchup of champions, it's the smart play to give their top laners the edge.
But it's such a fascinating one-on-one, because so many small things will be super important. One thing is that when Smeb activates his E, he gets that slow on the first attack and then the crit on the second one. The first slow even reduces attack speed. So it's very hard for Riven to do Q, auto attack, Q, auto attack, Q. It turns into basically just spamming Q straight up because your attack speed slows so much. So it's very hard to trade one-on-one. Also, the riposte against the Riven. If Riven goes for the third Q, the very long animation,
it's almost
easy.
always riposte.
It's so easy to riposte for Smeb, then he wins the trade. So a lot of Riven players won't even use that third one. And they're just like, use 2 and then bounce out. So it's very, very tricky between these two guys.
Huni's already falling behind. He's used that potion. Every time we look up, Smeb is finding a way to hit that vital. Keep the sustain up. Staying even and relevant on farm, but Huni's wave will push away from him in the not too distant future. And let's see how Huni plays it. We can see the Rainover already making his way towards the top lane.
There's a chance Huni, ooh, that was a nice Q3 by Huni. There's a chance he has to use his teleport early in this lane, or he needs early jungle pressure. If a counter gank were to arrive at this moment, if Rainover actually does attempt this, it could be disastrous. This is kind of a Hojin special. Smeb pushes up early, he gets into lane brush, and he waits there for a minute. And waits for the counter gank. But because of the way the recalls are coming in, I think Smeb called him off.
So we do see though in the mid lane why Febiven wanted this Azir. He wants to constantly try and push in this mid lane over and over and over. We looked at him as a better mid laner than KOO, at least in the laning phase. And that's what he's going to try and take advantage of. But bottom lane as well, when there's a Tahm Kench, it turns into a farm lane. It's very, very difficult to make any aggressive plays because he will just eat that AD carry, or he will be super tanky himself, so you can't really kill anyone.
Wow, it's going to be at farm lane you talked about. Very small advantage for Reckless. Hojin is going to pick a fight with Rainover over this Crystal Spire. Charge the slingshot, and Rainover says, nope, that one is mine, and will reclaim it.
Skarner is very strong when he gets close to you. Yeah. That is a fact of this game.
That was one of the things with how you can invade in if your mid laner is pushing, because Skarner 1v1, he is strong, Especially against a Zac, who's just gonna be like, what, am I gonna blob on you with my E and do nothing?
He's already done like half as much
Great
damage.
riposte from Smeb. He will, however, get stunned, and all of a sudden, Huni turns it back around, forcing Smeb to blow his flash.
That's really big, especially since Reignover's already doing the jungle invading. Hojin's gonna have to be fairly careful early on in the matchup.
And again, we see the strategy for Fnatic, always making sure Reignover can play aggressive, has a jungler he can outduel the enemy with, have a mid laner who's shoving the wave. So it's a good setup right now for Fnatic, but it was the same in game 1, even though they were just even faster and had even more aggressive lanes. That was not what won Fnatic the game, because they didn't win.
Nothing.
Funny enough, nothing won in the game. But it wasn't what lost in the game either, it was the bad calls later on.
Well, Huni and Smeb again going toe-to-toe. They're not going to find the follow-up vital. Falling a little bit behind in CS, but the wave is pushing towards him. And likely some info on Hojin's jungle path means that Huni's got some free time up here.
You know how people used to have like best Riven NA? I feel like it's more exciting to watch Fiora versus Riven. They should just have like a bracket of Fiora against Riven players. I love this matchup.
Make it a best of 3.
He's level 6 here, and they know they have to flash down. But Smeb is also level 6, which makes it super dangerous.
There's a grand challenge available. Kuro TP to middle, as did Feathervin, so there's no support elsewhere. Gentlemen, it's all about the tower dive. Fnatic are 10 for 10 when it comes to securing first bloods. They're looking for number 11. Reignover forced to flash away. Tower shot will not be enough to kill him, nor will...
Reignover's got...
This it. Look at Kuro, who's coming up through the jungle. Huni still wants to get it. He's going to be in so much trouble, and Reignover fires the fracture. That was so close.
Just by Huni moving a bit closer to Smeb on the way out, he threatened a potential second dive, and Smeb was like, okay, I can't risk it. And therefore he couldn't kill Reignover, who just snuck by the tower, but that was so risky by Fnatic.
From the look of it, Smeb blocked the right amount of CC, and then Huni wasn't able to combo properly because he was stunned himself, so he couldn't get the quick burst out on Riven. Huni is not trying to make up for the death he just suffered, and instead is playing very passive. But with the range on Zac's Elastic Slingshot, he's only level 7. He spent a lot of time hiding in a brush. How patient is Huni actually in this lane?
Oh, let's take a look. That slingshot was being charged, but Yellowstar's the man that's in a little bit of trouble. Gorillas pop that Grey Health shield. Hojin will get some of the cooldown back. Huni is dancing with death. Will dash out. And still so close. Hojin's waiting.
Such a patient bait right here because you would expect him to jump in after that last play. Huni's still suspicious though.
And Huni makes out alive.
Can we just give full credit to Huni in this case here? Normally he would have gone all in for that one-on-one against Smeb. Said, I'll get it back, man. I died before. I will get a revenge kill. But here he played it super safe because his own jungler's on the bottom side taking that dragon. So he knows, close enough.
Good smite from Reignover.
But he knew, okay, there was no backup for him. He just had to sit super far back and wait. Let his team make some plays on the bottom side of the map. I still want to see them use this Alistar and Ashe to create a pick.
Needs to get back up eventually though, because with that play top lane, they do get
Go for mid lane then.
Oh,
there we go.
Yellowstar flashes the baby cage, knocks Kuro into Reignover's waiting hands, and Feathervin sends the soldiers for the kill.
The ultimate displacement from behind your mid turret to the middle of the lane. Nothing Kuro can do to stop that one. Good counterplay by Fnatic.
They did lose their tower top while securing middle, and Huni's gonna get funneled that big wave.
But this is one of the plays Fnatic could make away from Huni. That's again, when Fnatic run compositions where they can make plays on the bottom side, they tend to not rely 100% on Huni snowballing his lane. So even if he does fall behind, you can make a play elsewhere. They had controlling bottom side because Zac was sitting top, great invade in, very little you can do as a mid lane when they're coming between two towers and not be so far back into the lane.